here. And this is the first ever episode. I wouldn't call it official because I'm still getting things set up, but I had things to say, as I usually do. Mainly about money. It's usually about money. And how everybody is so stressed out as a result of this money. And you may hear my daughter in the background. She's been sick lately. We've all been a little sick lately, unfortunately. So you might hear me coughing so often or clearing my throat, but don't mind that. Bear with me. Money is something we all feel that we can't necessarily live without, right? We sometimes kill for it. We die for it. We spend most of our mental energy, awake or asleep, thinking about ways to get more of it, or how we don't have enough of it, or thinking about all the things that we can't do without it, or that we could do if we had enough. All kinds of thoughts, negative thoughts, encircling money. And I sit and I think, why do we do this to ourselves? I mean, it's kind of like shooting yourself in the foot, right? You want to own a gun, but you don't know how it works. You want to make money. Not everybody knows how money works, truly works. So in that sense, it's kind of like a loaded weapon in the wrong hands, you know? And we're constantly shooting ourselves in the foot with it, constantly stressing out about it. And now I'm not trying to make the argument that we need to learn ways in which to make more money, because there are many, many ways to make money, right? But no matter how many ways there are to make money, or how many, of those ways are simple or complicated or lucrative, or whatever word you want to use to describe the grind, the struggle to make money, it is still a grind, it's still a struggle, and it's stressful, and it keeps us stressed out every single day. Every day. Most people. Every day. And now, if you speak to psychiatrists and any other science or scientists that operates in a field or specializes in a field that has to do with the human body, right? They'll tell you 9 times out of 10 that too much stress is not good for you. Too much stress is not a good thing. Now, the body's stress response, or the body's response to anxiety, which is stress, is necessary. It's a survival tactic, right? You're running from a lion, common analogy, or some type of predator, and in order to act quick and keep up your endurance so that you can continue to act quick in a life or death situation, your body just pumps out adrenaline and cortisol into your bloodstream, as well as other hormones, but for stress, right? And for short bursts, for short durations where you're trying to survive, that's okay. The body can withstand that. It's meant to withstand that. But another thing that's interesting that plays into it is the brain doesn't know how to differentiate between a physical experience and a mental experience, right? So if you're sitting there and you're mentally thinking, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. I am in trouble. I am going to be, my life will be threatened if I don't do this. I'm going to be in jeopardy. I'm going to be putting my family in jeopardy. My safety will be compromised if I don't do this, right? You're going to be generating tons of stress. And it's going to be happening all the time when you're doing that, right? Or for however long you're doing that, it's going to be, your body's going to be releasing adrenaline and cortisol as if it's having a flight or fight response. Because, like I said, it can't differentiate. So, in that way, or before I move past that, I just also want to say that happens all the time. If you don't think so, I mean, I urge you to take a look at just your thought processes. Go back and think about your thought processes over the last day, the last 24 hours. And if you haven't thought about making money or trying to make money or what you could do if you had money, had enough money, if you weren't thinking about the struggle of survival in a capitalist society at some point within the last 24 hours, I applaud you. Either you're rich or you're living with your parents. But if you're in the world and you're on your own, 9 times out of 10, you get a very short window of time when you're not thinking about money. Now, moving on, I don't have a planned discussion. I'm kind of just ranting. I was just thinking about this, and I wanted to get it out there, right? Let's get rid of all this because we don't need all this. It's just me talking right now. Okay. So I think, and you can comment and let me know what you think, but I think we should scrap it. We should get rid of it. Get rid of money. I think we don't need it. It's become, and at one point I was just like many people are still. I was somebody who didn't think much about, the ins and outs of government or politics. I didn't think much about, um, you know, the deeper end of the money pool. I didn't think about stuff like that. I just thought what they want you to think. I thought school, college, job, career, retirement. That was what I thought. That was along the process that I thought. But there's a lot more that goes into that, you know. There's a lot more to government and to money than most people realize. And after doing some research, I've concluded that we don't need it. Government, especially government, we don't need it in the way that we have it now. Right now, it's set up to be totalitarian. It's shifting currently. It's ebbing and flowing, but it's aiming towards totalitarianism. I mean, it's already got strong footholds in it, in totalitarianism, right now. And just with, its most recent display of power in terms of locking people down and stuff. That should have become more apparent to most people. But with money itself, it's used as a control tactic. I mean, if you look into or research where money came from, the origins of money, there's a lot of debate. But where my research led me, or what my research led me to believe, is that money, the way that it's set up now, the financial system as we know it today, was established some roughly 5,000 or so years ago during the the era of the ancient Sumerian culture, right? Priest kings, the ancient priest kings of ancient Sumeria, would create receipts, kind of like receipts, right? The first documents of transactions with a similar money system um, was done with cuneiform writing on clay tablets, and those tablets were exchanged for goods and such. And the only people who could make these tablets, right, and distribute them to the people for use was the priest kings. So they had control over the creation of money, right? They could make as much as they wanted, but they kept it limited so that they could create this false sense of scarcity. Okay, because if they just printed money whenever they wanted to distribute it however they pleased and just continuously poured it into then it would be valueless, right? So they had to convince people that it had value. So they limited it. They put restrictions on it. And because of that, they were able to control. That's what it was mainly used for. It was used to control the population. It was used to manipulate people into doing whatever the king demanded in exchange for these clay tablets that they could then use to exchange for things that they needed for survival, right? Before that, there was no mention of money. I don't even know if there was mention of barter and trade beyond, um, or I don't think there was mention of barter or trade beyond, just exchanging things, giving things out of gratitude for services, right? It was out of gratitude. It wasn't out of, I need to give you this, or I'm expected to give you this because you did something for me. It's, I give you this because I appreciate that you did it for me, and I want to show my appreciation by giving you this, right? That's kind of how it was. It wasn't this system that mainstream education tries to, or I should say indoctrination, tries to convince our children and us and our parents and their parents was happening, which was people were bartering and trading out of a mutual agreement that that is the mode of exchange. It wasn't the case. And even, I mean, the money today is even more valueless than it was back in the day of the ancient Sumerians. Even more valueless because today it's fiat. It's not backed by gold, silver, nothing. It's just, what is it, linen and some other things that make up the paper for the money or whatever. Because it's not just paper, it's other things. But I mean, it's green paper is how you can think about it. But it holds no value aside from the value that we believe it holds. We give somebody $5, and really it's a promissory note. We give someone $5, and what we're doing when we give them $5, traditionally, is we're telling them, here is the representation of my promise that you will receive $5 worth of gold, silver, whatever, right? That is what it was supposed to represent, or it did at one time, right? It no longer represents that. Now I give you $5, and the only thing I'm saying is I promise you by handing you this $5 bill that it is a $5 bill, and that there's a 5 on it, and that 5 means that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that you believe that it means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and when you give that 5 to another person, it will equate to 5. And if you put another 5 on top of it, it will equate to 10. Congratulations, you know how to add. That is the total value of the dollar today. That's it. It's not necessary. And I'll tell you this, because I'm going to have many other videos, hundreds of thousands. I don't even know how many videos I'm going to have going into the future, because I just plan on doing this as like a fun hobby type thing, you know? But I'll tell you this. It's not money that makes the world go round. Because without money, with money, doesn't matter. Human beings have a natural urge to create things. We have natural urge to make stuff, to be creative. We could sit around, it doesn't matter if you sit around for 5 minutes or 20 years and do nothing. At some point, you are going to show creativity in some way by changing or making something new. It's going to happen because it's natural. It's what we do. And it's also natural for us to want to share that with other people. We get a huge sense of accomplishment and self-worth, and just it's so gratifying when we can make something and share it with somebody else and see that it has benefited somebody else in some way. If you remove money from the scenario, from society, that urge will still be there because it is natural. So knowing that, we can then say, at least on that front, for, people making stuff, money is not important. People still require a way to manage society. We still require laws. We still require a way to manage society. I'm not vouching for anarchy, but I don't believe that money is a necessary mode of motivation for the creation of things. And I can pick up where I'm leaving off now, but I think I'm gonna leave it there, and you can draw whatever conclusions or whatever hypotheses, whatever, from what I have said, and you can leave me comments and talk to me about it if you would like, and get my views on it, get to know me a little bit. But I'll pick up where I left off in the next video until I complete that and move on. Let me know what you think you'd like to hear me talk about. Subscribe too. I need those. I need subscribers. I need likes. I need comments. I need views. I need love. I mean, I can love myself enough for everyone, but I need more love from you guys. And I will see you in the next video. Peace. Have a good night. Have a good day. Have a good evening. Have a good life.